Was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
Welcome back to the Hishaku Hideout, a weekly podcast where we talk about the latest chapter in everything Kagurabachi. I'm here with Dice.
Yo.
And today, we're not looking at a chapter, we have a discussion for you. Basically talking about why this flashback arc is going to be the longest arc in Kagurabachi. Now keep in mind we are separating the individual parts of Swordsbearer Assassinations arc in this thinking, but just I don't know, Dice, how do you feel so far now that we're like 15 chapters in?
I'm feeling like the Seitei war arc is not ending anytime soon, which I don't think is much of a I don't think I'm really saying anything crazy considering we're 15 chapters in and the war still hasn't started. So I think most people would agree with me for sure. But I think it's interesting nonetheless when you look at... Yeah, go ahead.
My bad. Go ahead. Now you go ahead, bro. My bad.
I was just going to say when you look at the Rakuzaichi arc, which is the longest arc in Kagurabachi, and then the Assault on Kamunabi HQ arc, which is the second longest, I think it's I think the Rakuzaichi is only longer by like a single chapter. And if I recall correctly, they are around at the 26 chapter mark, if I'm not mistaken.
It depends where you like start, I guess, the Kaminabi HQ arc, because they show like part of it and then they skip back to Samura. So just I think it kind of just depends on what it's all one arc split in 3 parts, but just for the sake of this conversation, they're somewhere between like 20 and 25 to 30.
Yeah, I think it's 25. Rakuzaichi is 26. So yeah, again, 15 chapters in the Seitei work. And I think, we'll be here for a while. So, just here to talk about what exactly we expect as we continue to get a better picture for what exactly occurred during these times and what Hokuzono seems to be focusing on. At the time of recording, chapter 127 just released. So, yeah.
He's giving us a lot of heartbreak currently. We're going through it. We're in the pits. I think what's funny about this discussion is me and you may have been on the opposite side, like of the popular opinion when this arc first started, thinking that this was only going to be at most, like I think I said 20-25. We know that's not true. And then I backed it up to 30, and then now I'm like saying it's going to be 40. And it's just because of how Hokuzono is presenting this arc, giving us like slowing the story down, giving us like actual, character moments. I do think it's going to ramp up though, eventually. But like, I guess my question to you is, what was your original like prediction for this arc? Because I don't want to speak for you either,
Yeah, I definitely did think that it was going to be under 30 chapters as well. I think at the time I was around 30, 35, so under 40 really. But yeah, right now I would say that I would expect it to run for another 30, right? So I'm already kind of starting to, push on that.
Okay, so you're saying that it's going to run for 45 chapters. 15 we have now plus 30. I guess where do I stand on that? That's a good question. I'm gonna sound just like stubborn, but I don't see it going over 50. I think I agree with you for once.
Yeah, well, at what point does Hokuzono just have to like get into it, right? Because I don't think neither you nor me believe that part 2, like the Seitei war arc, is gonna be like all of part 2, right? Like I know we're on the same page there, right?
Yeah, I think part 2 is the final part of Kagurabachi.
Agreed, exactly. So you and me also believe that there isn't gonna be a part 3, at least the way things look now, right?
Unless we have a Kagurabachi Next Generations.
God, no. But like, assuming that part 2 is as long as part 1, which it could easily be double the length or whatever. Yeah, and also because of the previous arc length, I can't see like the Seitei War arc being more than double the length of the previous longest arc, you know? So yeah, like a 50 chapter. I mean, again, like I always say, I'm seated. I would be here for a 50 chapter Seitei War arc, you know?
Hey, give me 100. Fuck.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I don't, because I just have questions in terms of how are we gonna get into the sword bearers. We see
like,
the.
Do we really want to see Giyu's daily routine or some shit?
Yeah, but like at the same time, there's also so much to cover. We've just discussed a lot that because of Hokuzono's pacing, he's, you know, we've seen before how much ground he's able to cover in one chapter, you know, and the amount of lore that he's able to not just drop on us, but like also flesh out in a single chapter, you know, and much more in a handful of chapters, right? So I do think that 30 more chapters gives enough time to finish fleshing out characters that he's began to tackle more, characters like Kunishige, Chiaki, and Akamura especially, who've had these flashbacks within this flashback arc. I'm interested to see what kind of treatment the other sword bearers are gonna get, which is something that we've been talking about since the arc started. We've seen though what Subaru, like the role Subaru has had, and so now I'm wondering is he gonna be like the outlier? We know that guys like Samura and Uruha are around in present day, so I don't expect the spotlight to really be on them in this flashback arc, but characters like Pinky, Ibiki, and even Uruha to a degree, because he hasn't really been properly fleshed out in present day. It's different, you know, from Samura. So those are characters that, like, I'm wondering if Subaru's gonna be like the best we'll get, like the most we'll get in terms of an Enchanted Blade Bearer's role in, you know, not just measured with screen time, but also importance in the, you know, current events. Because Subaru also went to war, you know, like the other blade bearers, but we've seen what he's done for Kunishige in the creation of the Enchanted Blades, so that might be an unfair comparison to the other wielders, but I just can't help but think, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and to give it to add some perspective to this, right? Look at from chapter 1 and our perception of the story in the beginning. Then fast forward all the way to the end of the Rakuzaichi, which is like chapter 44, so that's like about the same length we're saying the war is, and look how much, like, how different our perspective is on the story. Look how much, like, different. I mean, obviously, of course, that's the beginning, so there's, you know, a lot of early shenanigans, but like just the fact of like how much, like just how much he can do. He does a lot with a little, you know what I mean, as you were saying. So what we have left is basically like in terms of chapter count, we still have more chapters left in the Rakuzaichi, and you know there's a lot of great moments in the Rakuzaichi that made us feel for characters that we've never met before, you know. So like I think 45 is definitely like feasible. And you know, Ibiki, you know, I got a lot of stocks on Ibiki, and this is his only chance to really do something unless there's somebody that can raise the dead. But I do, like, all the bullshit and bias and, you know, agenda aside, I do believe that Ibiki's going to get the spotlight, but it's not going to be Subaru level spotlight, simply because I think Ibiki's whole thing is just kind of like the cool one, you know. He's like kind of like, that's his like allure. It's just that, and then Subaru is going to play an important part when we jump back to the future, so it's important for him to get some characterization. And I could see when we get to the actual beginning of the war that we don't see that many fights as we think. You know, I think he might skip around. He might pick up pacing there.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Hokuzono, the way he's handled the Seitei War currently, it's, you know, he'll give us a couple of chapters like every few chapters, I guess what I'm trying to say is like every few chapters he'll build up to like one big chapter or like another short stretch of really big chapters. Like think about Hiroshima, right? And kind of like the lead up to that, and just like, you know, how like the chapters covering that whole fight, like how it was not just like the fight, but like the lore we were getting, and like I said, like the build up to that taking place. And even now post Hiroshima, we've kind of like, okay, like it slowed down the pace a little, focused more on the character development of Chiaki, Akamura, those backgrounds. And I've told you this, that like I feel like he's getting ready to drop something on us again. And you feel the tension in the story because, again, at the time of recording, the Masumi just pulled up on the smelting part 2, you know, like as they're currently in that process of the EB making. So, you know, the tension is definitely there. And I do feel like it's, you know, anytime now we'll get another big chapter that drops perhaps more lore, or just pushes the action, and just, you know, the climax, not the climax, I'm sorry, but just ultimately what is the Seitei War,
and that payoff is coming, you know, that.
Yeah, it's getting into the Seitei War, you know, at the end of the day.
He like ramps up the tension beforehand, and then he's like leading up to like a big reveal or a big payoff. And then, you know, it's kind of like the cool off period, but like in that cool off period, he's learned to kind of like flush out characters, give them a bit more substance, go a little deeper, which I appreciate. And like Hiroshima, think about it, that fight was like 4 or 5 chapters long, and we literally only knew one character beforehand. Like before this arc started, out of the Hiroshima fight, we literally only knew one character there. But during that fight, like, I got theories on Aryu and just how he is, and you know, people may be perceiving him differently or wrong. Mashiro's character was really well done. Yoshinojo, just like in his role of what he is, like that, you know, that demon. Like Hokuzono is like, he just did a really good job with that fight, like making us care, like the Mikaboshi thing, as you talked about, like the lore in the Hiroshima. So, all things considered, I think, you know, us saying that it's got 30 more chapters is pretty fair and logical. Yeah. Now,
And yeah, go ahead.
I do have one question for you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What percentage chance would you say that Hokuzono cuts off the flashback at a certain point and jumps back to the current timeline? Excuse me.
At no point. I think we're getting through this arc and then just returning to present day to stay in present day.
Because there's been issues with Shonen Jump where like the fan base kind of makes a big fuss over there about like, you know, where's the main character? Where's the main? Not saying that's what's happening, but I can't remember what series it was, and that kind of the you know, editors, I guess, nudged the creator to, you know, appease the fans.
No, I don't see that happening. I wouldn't want it to happen just because let Hokuzono cook, and I don't see it happening. At least right now, I don't see enough backlash.
I say about 15% chance, personally.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know like to give like a percentage. I really don't see it happening. Because I think there's enough that people have been looking forward to in the Seitei War arc, and I want to think that people, you know, like they have enough to be entertained with, you know, whether it's the Kunishige Chiaki stuff, whether it's Akamura, whether it's the other sword bearers, whether it's Shiba, Azami, who I'm still waiting to see. I think people have been looking forward to this arc enough to where hopefully they let Hokuzono, you know, finish this thing all the way through.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, I personally see it going all the way through as well.
Yeah.
But there is a part of me that sees like the possibility of there being like not abrupt. I don't want to say abrupt, like it's like a, you know, like a fuck up, but more in the sense of like he finds a good stopping point to kind of like cut it there, and then, you know, jump back to it, or, you know, I mean, obviously, I trust Hokuzono either way. Like I said, I think that's doubtful. But I was just wondering what your thoughts on that were. I got you.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, hopefully not, man. Really.
Yeah.
I think this
have,
arc so far has been great.
You have anything you want to say? Because I'm just about, finished in terms of what I had to say.
Yeah, this one was a short one, really. It just kind of like really looking at the very real possibility that this arc is going to be the longest one yet. And I've said before, I think it's the most consequential. It's the most important. It's the one with most implication. If there's one arc that Hokuzono has to land, it's this one. I mean, there's so much writing on it. And so far, like, he hasn't disappointed at all, really. I think he's taken much more time than I expected fleshing out the setup to the war, and so you would have to think that the war itself and getting into the war, like if we've been 15 chapters just leading up to the war, we don't know if it's going to be 20 chapters by the time the war starts, but what are the chances that the war itself doesn't last like as long in terms of chapter count than the setup to it, right? Like, is that how possible do you think that is? Do you see that?
Yeah, I could see that, but
right?
I think the fallout of the war and the aftermath is heavy enough on its own to carry it for another 15 chapters. Like, even if we get through that quick, he still has like a lot of after war stuff that he could touch on.
Yeah, and
so
like,
it's like there's a lot going on in every part of the war, like beginning, middle, end, and all that, to where it's like he could really dive deep on any section of it and then like kind of skip through any section, but handle, like trusting him to handle it in a good way. Yeah,
so those are all things that are like very interesting to me, because there is just so much, man, so much. I mean, like, will we see more of the Kagari clan, the demon monster? Like, I don't think we're seeing really like any of those, because obviously the enchanted blade the enchanted blades are what like the war is fought with. But it's there's just so much here that it's hard for me not to like really entertain all the possibilities and just what exactly Hokuzono's cooking here. Like I said, I think this is the most important arc yet, and I'm very satisfied with how Hokuzono has handled it so far, and I think he's gonna land the plane, whether it's 30 more chapters, 20 more chapters, whatever it may be.
He's landing that bitch like a soul plane with like 30-inch rims on it.
Yeah.
Spinners, and I guess this video is really just kind of us saying, hey, you know what? We were wrong about it being like a 15, 20, 25 chapter arc originally. But hey, we can admit, if we were on the wrong side of history every now and then. But we're going to cook. We're going to get some of these right, some of these theories. But I think that Hokuzono's giving us hope just to kind of keep doing what he's doing and stay healthy and, enjoy the story as he's presenting it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Chat, we appreciate y'all. We're getting back into the swing of things. It feels good to make content again with Dicey. Be on the lookout. We have, our prediction streams on Tuesday. We're about to start doing, we have a members only video dropping. A lot of content for y'all. So keep up and check, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, link in the description. Whew, my bad, I was yapping there. Dice, any last words?
No, I think we both do enough yapping. No, bro, that's all from me.
All right, y'all. Have a good night. Have a good week. Drink water, even though I won't. Peace.